Welcome back, everybody. It's been about 3 weeks. I apologize for being so gone for so long. Got a million things going on, but it's good to be back amongst you. So hang on just a second here, same as we always do. Let me do a couple things, get the word out to the troops that I'm live, and I'll be right with you here on live stream. Once again, my name is Baron. I am from FibbyCharts.com, and we'd love to have you join us over at our free Discord, which is at the Unfair Advantage chat. So take a minute while I'm having some radio silence here and go ahead and send us a join over there at the Unfair Advantage chat and give me just a second. I'm gonna kill my mic and I'll be right back and ready to broadcast. There we go. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, guys. So we've had a little bit of a market crash. Some of you guys that are not on live stream with me over on Discord, you definitely got to join me on Discord because I have a few people that sent me messages going, "How come you're not going live? It's crashing. It's crashing." I did do a VIP broadcast. I didn't do anything publicly because I had my hands tied and I had a bunch of stuff going on with our tax lien seminar that's coming up. End of next month, and we'll be talking about that here later on in the show. So I definitely want you guys to stick around for that because we've got a really awesome thing that we're going to be doing next month on the 28th of the week of the 28th thereabouts, involving tax lien sales. So this is if you guys want to get into real estate, I'm going to show you a way to get into real estate. You don't have to know anything about real estate. Just bring your money, listen to someone who's been doing this for 3.5 decades, and I'll get you into real estate. And the best part is the government collects the money from you. You don't ever have to plunge toilets at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the most simple, low drama way to get into real estate. And it pays very, very well, 24% per year return. So we'll talk about that here a little bit later on after we run a few charts and stuff like that. So how's everybody doing here? it's, it's, oh my God, this is just getting to be ridiculous, isn't it? It just goes down and down and down. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few things. Let's start off with Platinum Pro. Let's get into Platinum Pro, which is our professional trader level subscription. And let's take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin. Is everybody hearing me all right? My audio levels are still set from the last thing here, so let me know if everybody can hear me all right. Just let me know in the chat if everything's working okay. I'll wait out to make sure everybody gets to. All right. sorry, I'm trying out a new thing here. I've got. I've never used that timing function for the broadcast. I'm not sure if um, that worked out really well or not. So okay, all right. I'm not too loud, am I? Because I can adjust this down a little bit. I've got you guys running about 70%, so I'll make sure I'm not screaming in your ear or talking across the field here. So there you go. All right, cool, cool. All right, so this is pretty much in a nutshell what we're going to be covering again and again and again tonight. Basically, here's what's gone on. We fell into that forecasted drop. We're falling into a triangle. This is very, very classically a bear flag or bear pennant. Um, and it's excruciating to sit through. Every single one of these candles is one day, and it doesn't seem like that much, but you're looking at well over 2 weeks here, going into 3 weeks of just sideways action. And if you got no self-control, it's very kind of hard to sit through this going, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, if you understand what you're looking at, it's very clear what's going to happen. If you understand the narrative of what's going on, it's very clear what's going to happen. And again, I've been here over and over and over telling you guys where these targets are going to be, and we've hit them again and again and again. So onward and downward. Basically, we hit our last target at 29, so all these targets have been hit on the way down. So we're waiting for the grand 24 and the big one at 22. Now, are we going to go lower? I'm going to reserve the right to tell you we're going much, much lower, much, much lower. But we take, one bite at a time. It's how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So currently, we're looking at probably a drop into at least this ISIS line here. Probably, I want to see us get past. We've already hit it once. We come down to 25.2. I want to see us come down here into the 24, right down in this target range of the 24. And I'm going to expect probably a bounce at this point in time. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of downward action without getting some upward. If you guys are playing Bitcoin for bounces, don't be, because I think that's kind of if you guys are playing Bitcoin, period, don't be. I think it's kind of foolish, but not financial advice. You guys can do whatever you want to. There's better uses of your money, but what I'm telling you is basically this format, this layout, this flag pennant thing that we're seeing here, it's going to happen again and again and again on all charts. So if everything's going down, you might as well find the statistically probable one that will give you the best return if you want to play a bounce, and Bitcoin is not it. Um, all right, so basically we're looking at, so this is the overall narrative that we're looking at here. So let me give you a little update on, we're just going to go through a few of these. This is not going to be our super, super long broadcast because I've got a ton of stuff going on here that I need to attend to. And by the way, for all you guys that are in VIP, all you guys that are on live stream and stuff like that, I know a lot of you know that I'm going to Cuba after the tax lien seminar on the 28th of next month. I bought myself I bought myself a little toy. I'm not going to leak it just yet, but I bought myself a little toy. I got to go down and pick up in Florida here. So this coming weekend, I will be away from the charts. Probably fair warning, I'll try to be back in by Sunday. So I know all the fun stuff happens on Sunday. So the intent is I'm going to be running to Florida to pick up my new toy and back possibly by the morning, Sunday morning, because Sunday on into Monday is usually when stuff happens. And I'm telling you this to tell you that I do believe that when we get into our drop here, let me back up a little bit on Bitcoin. Um, I'm not expecting just a drop just yet. We're going to work our way into about 70% of this formation, and then we'll go down. So we probably get about two more candles, which is going to be Friday, Saturday, before we start working our way and breaking out the bottom side. So I'm going to try to sneak out of town and come back with my new little object of my desires. I'll be leaking it on VIP if you guys want to see what it is. I'll show you. It's jaw dropping. It really is. It's a goal of mine that I've wanted for about 35 years. I'm a automotive engineer, automotive car designer, and this is something I've been lusting after for about 35 years. And so I've up late at night on eBay, and just had to make it happen. So I'm gonna go pick that up and bring it back here, so you guys will see it. And I actually will probably have it at the seminar, so you guys can see it. But anyway, let's get back to business here. So Ethereum, I'm in order to pay for this ridiculous purchase of mine, I stepped out of a little Ethereum. Basically took a loss on it. Just too good to say no to. So I sold a little bit of position out of Ethereum. Not suggesting you guys do that. If you're in, just ride the ride. Don't take a loss to chase to the bottom. However, I do see that same formation that we're looking at on Bitcoin. We're looking at probably as much as a 14% drop here. Easily, we've already tagged it once, so I imagine we're probably going to come down about 15% when we break out the bottom of this here by next week, early part of next week, and then on down from there. We're going to be going on into the green. So not a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about tonight has changed since the last live stream that I did for VIP. You guys that are in public have not had a chance to see this stuff. So this is something I covered at great length, a couple weeks ago. Really, it's just been a whole lot of nothing. There just hasn't been a lot of change. So I apologize if you guys are like, how come he's never on live stream very much? It's like, well, there's nothing to say. There's no reason to say it, or to try and say it. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I'm only here when the information is really, really relevant. If you guys want daily access and stuff, dude, join us at VIP or join us in the VIP over at Discord and get subscribed to the charts because every single day I'm giving you little micro updates and plays and stuff like that. So it's well worth having you guys over there so at least you can see what's going on because this public live stream is really kind of the last priority for me. So if you guys still want to join over at the unfairadvantage.chat and at least get into the free section of the Discord, you will see and hear from me an awful lot more over there. So if staying in contact is something you want to do or hearing my thoughts, that's your surest bet is to be over on Discord. All right. So there was a little bit of news that happened a couple weeks ago where everybody was just all crazy and thinking, oh, here it goes with XRP. And again, the story has not changed. I'll take all this out of here. The story has not changed. I told you guys we're not going to go anywhere until we go to 22 to 25 cents. And that's exactly where we're headed. So we've already dipped down once. We've already scraped 32, let's call it 33 cents here. I'll clean this up by next broadcast, but again, where you should be basically paying attention to is generally, let's get that out of there too. You should be paying attention right generally inside of this green channel right here. That's where I expect that we're going to be heading, and I've got my targets are starting to be marked right here at about right where that alarm is. I'm going to be making my first buy at 25 cents. That's a safety buy. That's not my call. My call is below the 22 to 18 to 22 cents, right in that range is where I'm going to be going hardest and heaviest. However, I'm telling everybody that doesn't really have the strength and stamina to want to sit through that, perfectly permissible to be buying at 25 cents. 25 cents is more than reasonable that we're going to be hitting that. And I don't think we're that far away, to be honest, guys. If I were to just answer, when are we going to go from here to here? Well, just look. I mean, how long did it take to go from here to here? It didn't take more than maybe about a week to 2 weeks within there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, basically 2 weeks. So 2 weeks exactly to get into the drop. So I would expect pretty much the same thing. So we've been well over 2 weeks, we're due for a drop. So when we drop, we're going to drop pretty precipitously. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took about 5 days to go from here to here, 5 to 6 days to go from here to here. So I don't believe that there's going to be too much uniqueness going from here to here down to the bottom. So just know that realistically, we're within anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 weeks of seeing these targets start to close in. Close, 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 if not dead nuts on. So it's going to be an interesting month. Definitely going to be an interesting month. And again, for you guys that really don't have access to XRP or don't like screwing with it or it makes you nervous or whatever, there's certainly nothing wrong with playing the little brother, which is XLM. Still going to be the same thing. These targets haven't changed at all. We're still looking at anywhere from about 8 cents to 7.5 cents as a good target call with an ultimate bottom of probably down here in the 5 cent range. No, I'm not going to not going to Guantanamo. Might be able to see it from where I'm at. I'm actually going to Havana. Yeah, I'll take a look at Algorand. All right, so XDC really it was a superstar when everything else was kind of going up. It was or going down. It was kind of going up, and I was kind of the mind early on that maybe this thing's going to do its own thing and just go opposite. And then she just turned and down she went and got right back with the program, more than with the program. Looking at the indicators here, there's nothing positive about this. It's down, 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 down. This thing is stepping down faster and harder. So we've already tapped my 50% sets actually was a ping. We already hit down here at the 0.03165 range. No doubt in my mind we'll hit it again and then go lower, but there's still ultimately there's your bottom call right there. Anywhere inside of this yellow box is perfectly fine, and then you just ride the ride. Just wait till the end of the year. Really, honestly, you'll be seeing gains of 100%, 200%, 300%. If you're buying down here at a penny and a half, look how long it took to go from here to here. It's not going to take you a year to go from here back up to this dual AI line. Let me give you some theory here. So, say for example, you were to buy at 1.5 cents on up to this dual AI line, which is usually where you would expect to start getting your stiffest resistance. Actually, it'll probably be right here, but you'll get even more stiff resistance here because of the sheer amount of ceiling you're facing. But you're already looking at 250% return. That's just getting the party started. So if you're looking at a much higher, we're going to play with some what ifs here today just to kind of give you just to pump you up a little bit. It's been a really miserable time to be an investor, hasn't it? So if we go to back to graphed out all-time high, you're looking at from my 0.015 call to all-time high, you're looking at 1,113%. It's basically an 11x and some change. Could that be life-changing? Well, depends upon how much money you put into it. But being this is an ISO coin, I don't have to tell any of you guys this. You already know that. ISO coins are going to be the darling of the end of this year. ISO coins are I always hate to say a no-lose proposition, but again, back to one of my major things I'm known for saying: never bet against the bankers. This is the banker system right here you're looking at. It's called ISO. So closest thing to money in the quote-unquote bank you can get. Now, I've been talking a great deal about Theta and Theta Fuel. I'm in it. I'm holding it. Bought safety positions on some stuff just to be sure, because you never know. So my last buy was right here, just because you never know. This thing could go inverted Bart, and this thing could go up, but it didn't. It's still hanging with the predictions and stuff. So once we get to the bottom of this green box, really anywhere in this black area here, but once we get to the green, we break out of the green box, it's time to probably get the wallet out and get serious about buying the crap out of this, because the return on this is going to probably be better and more certain than anything that you can probably get. Because again, this has got utility. We've been over this several times. This thing's got utility. It's got legs. It's got use case. I mean, there's nothing theory about this. It's in use right now. Theta.tv, if you don't know what that is, look into it. It's kind of a YouTube alternative. And in the future, this thing's going to be upward. We've got our AI system has got this at about anywhere from $1.25 to $1.50 in the not too far flung future. And if you're getting this thing at, pennies, literally pennies or sub pennies on the dollar, I mean, there's life-changing money to be made within this coin alone. And I'm speaking everything from McDonald's floor sweepers all the way up to the boardroom. All you guys should be in this. All of you should. Yes, Cuban cigars. Uh-huh. No comment. No, no comment. I don't need to. I don't need to start. I don't need to start yet again another habit. I've already got a Diet Pepsi habit. I don't need a cigar habit too. I love a good cigar, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. It'll probably be a week or so of being down there, just getting. I'll be just buzzing the entire time I'm down there though. But I don't think I'm gonna try and bring anything back with me though, because I know better to do that. All right. Same thing on Theta again. Really, honestly, when we get down to, let me give you a little bit more solid buy point on that. So basically, here's where I'm going to tell you. These targets have yet to be realized, but they're all legit targets. And I know some of you guys are looking at this just kind of going, "Holy shit, is he serious about this?" Yes, I'm very serious about this. We can fall this far. Um, if you can get Theta for 37, 38 cents, man, when that thing turns around. Now that's a 70% drop. Last time this treehouse adjourned publicly, I think we were talking about 80% drop. So you can see the numbers are starting to go lower and lower and lower. But realistically, if you just kind of want to make sure you get a grip on this thing, or you get a little bit of a bite anywhere inside of that area right there, is probably got my blessing. I think that we'll easily hit the top of that. Wouldn't surprise me to kind of probably spend a fair amount of time in that general area, and we'd have to go back in history to see why I'm saying that, because we have a little bit of resistance right here, and we can go back further also as well. But really at this white line here, once we cross that white line or go deep into that white line or that white squiggle, it's probably time to start considering, stepping up and getting you some. So I'm flying through here pretty quick. Now, by the way, any of you guys are doing super chats that want something special called out, let me know. I'll do algo because I was going to do algo. But if there's something specific that I chart, don't throw me some weird thing I don't chart. But if any of you guys do super chat and want to have me, kind of give my current opinion on something that I'm currently charting, I'd be more than happy to do that. And any super chats are donated to the local homeless. So just so you guys know that. So your information payments are going to a good cause. It's something I've been doing for quite a while around here, and I'm telling you, the need is just getting absolutely outrageous, guys. I'm seeing it more and more and more when I go out. It's I don't have to tell any of you guys how bad it is, but I mean, thank God it's summer right now. I mean, we could be. I'm rather amazed before I get into VeChain here. Let me clear my mind to this here real quick. I'm rather amazed that our current cycle of downward spiral is happening in the summer, because honestly, if I was really being very honest about it, I expected this to be a far worse winter than it was. Not to say the current winter isn't going to be, just many-fold worse than the last time. I think we all know that when gas starts hitting $10 a gallon and stuff like that, which it will. Uh, I really expected it to be worse. I bought a generator. I bought extra gas. I was ready, ready with the food, all the prep stuff that I've been schooling you guys and preaching and yelling at you guys forever and ever to get. But it didn't happen. But I've still got a generator. I've still got the reserves. I've still got stuff like that. So I don't feel bad about it. You can always eat your way through the food and stuff. A generator's not going to lose any value, especially in this day and age. And so I'm hanging on to it. Haven't even taken it out of the box yet. But when I need it, she'll be there. I don't have to worry about stock supplies. I don't have to worry about chasing stuff. I've already gone out and gotten my stuff, so I'm not really worried about all the things that YouTube fills your head with on a daily basis. But a lot of you guys don't have the luxury to be able to do that because you don't have anything extra. So um, use this summer that you got. Use this warm weather. Don't go out screwing around and stuff like that. You've got limited amount of time to kind of gather those nuts for winter, little squirrels. I'm serious. I'm serious about this because, the crypto will take care of itself when it's time. But I want you guys all to really consider, don't blow off these warm days that we got to get things ready for yourself, because it's going to be harder winter than it's ever been in your lives. So just something that's kind of crossed my mind. I've been wanting to kind of address publicly for a while, but we'll talk more about that as time drifts on. So again, we got two targets here. We're still waiting and stuff like that for. So from current to our dual AI line, I like our odds. I really like our odds of hitting this on this drop down here at this price. Now, is this ultimately going to be the bottom? No, I don't believe ultimately it will be the bottom. I'm going to give you some theory here, but it's really good theory. I believe that ultimately we're going to intersect with that midline on this channel. I could drag that down further if I wanted to. In fact, I think I will. If I wanted to bring that down about that far right there, let's just say in theory, I think we're probably going to intersect with that. So that's going to put us banging down here off the dual AI line and probably going to mid channel. So I'm expecting, all said and done, we're going to be right in this general area right here. Without getting in too deeply into the why and why that is, let me show you. If we come down this far, we're only down 39%. We come down further, we're only down 44%. That's nothing. If we wanted to, we could go even lower, um, believe it or not, because they're going to smash this stuff to the deck, guys. Everything's going down. Everything. So if we went all the way down to the bottom of this channel, let's just take this last AI line. That's going to be a penny, well, just shy, just a little bit to the weak side of a penny and a half. That's 55%. That's a 55% drop. That's two 25% drops, or 20 and a 20 and a 10, whatever, whatever and a 15. But I do believe that we will get down this low. So we're watching this for a current target right now. I expect probably a little bit of a bounce there if you guys want to play VeChain on a bounce. I'm not really much of a bounce player in a drastic market like this. I'm just looking for buying opportunities. Because really, let's talk about this for a second. If you're going to play a bounce, what you're ultimately hoping for, and I don't care if you're a big player or you're a little player, especially if you're a little player, you want to have at least a 20% return on your money, or otherwise it was just stupid gambling. And I can't tell you emphatically that I believe that this is going to drop and bounce up 20% and give you your money and then drop again. It's just not very likely. What you're going to get is you're going to get this. I mean, just look at when we came down, we settled back up. I mean, it's really not that drastic of a move. Once you get a drop, you're only looking at anywhere from 5 to 10% average through there, and you're not going to buy it. You're not going to buy it at the absolute bottom, and you're not going to sell it at the absolute top. So this was not a wild enough swing that I would have wanted to try and play that as a bounce. And again, I wouldn't try to do it a second time here as well. So what I'm saying by saying all that is I'm saying is that when you take a position, make sure you're in love with it or don't take it. You've heard me say this umpteen times before, but it's getting to be more and more important that you understand these most basic of concepts. Don't jump in on these things if you don't love it. Well, do you love it at 2 cents? Okay, buy it. But are you going to love it at 2 cents when it goes down here to a cent and a half? Probably not as much, but will it come back? Certainly. We've talked about this. VeChain is a very, very established coin. DHL, third largest shipper in the world, uses it. It'll come back. You know it will. You know it will. If you can manage to hang on to it long enough and not be your own worst enemy, I think you'll be just perfectly fine. It's always that battle between the ears that's the hardest. All right, so we concentrate on OMG as a free play here, so we're always talking about OMG. We went into the buy zone. Now, see, I told you to buy it. Now, this would have been a slightly different scenario. You're looking at you could have flipped this. Let's say you bought at the bottom of the green box, and we went up to where we're at right now. That's a 30%. If you guys bought this, let me give you an if, because this is a free play. I do this for everybody that's on live stream for free and stuff like that. I don't you don't have to subscribe to get this chart. If you guys want to be able to watch this chart and make money off of my calls, you can do that with OMG. This is my free donation to everybody. So if you guys bought on this AI line down here and you happen to pick it up for buck 80, buck 85, or in that range right now would be a good time to consider and throwing it overboard for the profit. Because this thing's spooling up to go much, much lower. So low, in fact, that I don't even have the AIs haven't even started to throw lines down here yet. But again, I expect it to be down here, probably I'll just ballpark it, down here in the 70-cent range before very long. And again, remember, if you're buying this thing, I've said this many times and we've already hit the target. I told you way back when we were at about $3, we're going to be going to $20 to $25. We hit 20 exactly. So there was the call. And I'm still telling you that we're going to hit it again and again and again. So we're going to hit 20, 25, 30, 35. The party's just getting started. But first we got to go to the bottom. So if you're in profit on this little move right here and you bought it when I said buy it, you can very clearly see that there's a profit to be had. So take it. Don't stare at it. Take it. And so not financial advice, but you can see where we're headed. We're headed to the bottom. So you can be probably rebuying. Once we get some new lines down here in about a day or so, ISIS will start putting lines down here. Then we'll have some new targets. And so basically right now, if you're staring at a bird in the hand, man, kill that sucker. Turn it into cash. Never sleep on a profit. All right, so let's clear some of this out here so we can talk about that. So Dent has finally decided to start decided to start going down and participating with the drop. Dent just didn't want to go down and stay down. Once we finally crossed that green threshold, I said things are going to get interesting. Um, Zero right in on that. Okay, so we actually came up out of the box again. I'm not too concerned with it yet. However, I will say there's one thing that I see with Dent that I don't see with everything else. You'll notice it's starting to swing up a little bit. Now, would I necessarily tell you that this is time that we are now at the bottom on Dent? No, I would not tell you that. I would not tell you that because the rest of the market, Dent kind of does its own thing, but it's still within the ecosystem, the crypto sphere. So we have to kind of be a little bit, we have to mix in a little bit of pessimism with our overall optimism. But this is a very strong indicator that it's going to go up. We're rolling out of red. Everything's coming up roses here. But again, we're in a market that the rest of the market's going down. Dent is not a superstar in that way. And the fact that it'll start going to the moon when everything else is going in the toilet. So I would expect, probably in the next course of the next couple of days, I would expect that all this is really telling you is you've got a little bounce window happening right there before we turn tail and join the club and start going down again, like that. So the question, and again, this is an ERC20 coin, so guys, always factor that in. So the resistance would be right where our support was last time. So we're looking at from where we're at currently right now to probably right about there, 21%. So best case scenario. So here's what I'm telling you is if you want to buy Dent, this is the way that I would approach this. If you want to buy Dent, is there anything wrong with owning Dent at 0.001, let's just call it 0.13 because that's where we're headed? No, there's nothing wrong with owning it with the understanding and the expectation that it could go lower. So what you're doing is you're playing the odds. Can I, if I buy this at 0.0013, expect a 20% return on my money from here to here? Currently, right now, it looks like you probably can. Possibly, all things being equal. But that would have to be by Sunday. If we don't get to here by Sunday, I think, which, by the way, this blue line right here is a pulse marker. So really, what I'm telling you is this. Between now and that blue line, each one of these being a day, you've got today, tomorrow, the next day, day after that. So you got, what, 4 or 5 days? You got 5 days to make it to this line and give you a 20% return on your profit. Or otherwise, this thing's probably going to hit this line and pff, down she goes again. And the reason I say that is because that's right at the bottom of the short cycle trough, and this thing does a deadly accurate job of following these waves. You can see up, down she goes. So this pulse marker is serious. Now, the cycle move is already been kind of forecasted well in a month ahead of time that this is where it's going to be. So you've got about a 5-day window of opportunity for a 20% profit. But here's what I would tell you. This is the way I would play it. If you're going to do this, you're doing it with as a safety, not all in, not the rent money, not the car payment, whatever. Um, with the understanding, if you wanted to buy in on this, you say, okay, well, this is how I would play this. All right, well, if I can make 20%, I'll take it. If not, I'll just consider this something I'm going to hold until she comes back around and gives it to me. Invest that level of money, and that's a play you can play with Dent. But don't get in if you don't like that price, because that's basically, everything's all up for speculation. This could turn in on a dime and everything just goes straight to hell in a handbasket. But I believe that we're going to see some strong upside because it's already starting to show that for Dent. And Dent doesn't usually go downhill for very long. Rest of the market's not looking so strong, though. All right, so Reef being kind of the same thing. They really are kind of there's no similarity between Dent and Reef. I've just noticed they move together very similarly. Reef is, again, another one of these super strong coins that just won't go down on one knee in a bad market. But we finally crossed that threshold where down she goes. So we've still got the targets. That actually should be that should be yellow because we haven't hit that one yet. So these two yellows here are what we're waiting for, and I think it's a very strong likelihood that this is going to be our next hit, probably in the next 5 days, with a wick full down to here. Now, if we get down to this, is this the end of the road? Is this the bottom? I don't believe it's going to be the bottom. I don't believe it's going to be the bottom because it's not a harsh enough drop for what I see coming. Um, you're only looking at 66%. And I say only, I know that's a lot, but 66%. I expect bigger than that out of a smaller cap coin. Like I said before, if a large cap is forecasted to drop 40%, you can expect anywhere from 50 to 80% on the smaller cap coins, just because the smaller they are, the harder they fall. Um, Dent, or I'm sorry, not Dent. Reef at a fraction of a penny, 0.001 and a half is good enough as far as I'm concerned. I'm basically we're up for speculation below that, but honestly, anywhere near this last bottom target, and I'm good to go on this. I will load two boats because I know where this thing is going eventually. $3.36. As accurate as I've been hitting all these targets going down, I'll be just as accurate going back up. $3.36. I've been forecasting that. I've been seeing it in my stats and data for well over a year. Hasn't changed. Very few of these things ever hold that same statistical price. Anubis is our AI bot that does that, and generally it'll waffle up and down, but Reef and Dent don't change. They never change, and so I'm perfectly happy paying a fraction of a penny and a half to own something that's going to $3.36. Within 48 to 60 months. And watch it just double all the way up. All right. Get the dogs out of the way. I wish there was more to talk about. Yeah, this is not my favorite way to do forecasting because really nothing's changed since the last live cast I did. I'd prefer to have a little bit more to comment on. I'm just basically repeating myself, but I know a lot of you guys don't catch that. Do I think Tether will die? Sorry, I just saw that. Um, do I think Tether will die? Yeah, I do think it'll die. I do think it'll die. I think it'll probably die this year. I think let me qualify that. I think that the ties to Tether, the things that Tether's doing incorrectly, and I gotta remember I'm on YouTube, so I can't throw accusations, but uh, Tether's ties to the powers that be and all the things that are just vapor money, it's gonna come to a head this year. It's going to come ahead this year, by the end of this year. And Tether's going to be right in the middle of it. And we're talking about the ghost cities in China. We're talking about all the minting money, artificially inflating the price of Bitcoin. I mean, Tether is exactly a reason why Bitcoin is going to go to $11,000. I can't tell you the series of events, but the statistics don't lie. I'm telling you, and I have been telling you for over a year, we are going to $11,000 Bitcoin, and probably lower. I can actually even see it get down into sub 10,000, but for right now, currently, I'm comfortable saying 11,000. I could go as low as 8,000 or high sevens, but I'm gonna basically kind of hold the line at 11,000. As we get, depends upon how fast the drop happens. Once I start to get more data, I can see. But will it go to zero? No. But your $250,000 Bitcoin, I got bad news for you guys that are holding on, expecting that. Not in this lifetime. Not in this lifetime. Not happening. Too many things going against it politically, crypto wise, money wise. It's just not going to happen. It'll find its equilibrium, but it's going to be nowhere near $250,000. All right. So anyway, back to Shiba. So Shiba again, we're still sitting here this would be my ultimate oh shit moment down here. Really, if you're holding it clear up here, you've already had your oh shit moment. But it's just not going to get any better, guys. This thing is not going to be bailing out anytime soon. Now Doge, Doge probably, again, I've made this case many times. Doge stands a better chance. You know, see, we're actually kind of getting a little bit of a roll up, but um, exactly. Bear markets are going to wash a lot of trash. And I would expect, and I said this last year, that, you know, when we do get the washout, there's like, what, 36,000 coins out there right now. Um, the washout is expected. We all know it's coming. There's little to no surprise there. We all know it's coming. But what's going to force it? Well, we can start to see things in the landscape now that are starting to come out that are potentially those air quote reasons for that, regulation being one of them. Some of these are not going to be able to weather the storm. They're just going to go away because they're just regulated out of existence. So there's that. And then, of course, obviously, people are going to go, oh, this fucking crypto, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to move their stuff into stronger projects. They're going to get out of that Orchid. They're going to get out of that, you know, throw in your favorite shitcoin. They're going to get out of these things. The days of the ISO, or the days of the early release coins, the IPO coins, that's done. You notice you never hear about IPO coins very much, other than Terra Luna and stuff. You know that the favorite coin. There's always a favorite coin, but you remember it was just IPO after IPO after IPO. Well, that kind of stopped. And then it became something else. Then it became something else. Then it became NFTs. And then, you know, there's always some hot shiny thing to change, or what, or to chase after. But all these IPOs that are just gonna do's and runarounds and just also rans and stuff like that, they're all gonna wash out, a good percentage of them. So by the time, and I'm just ballparking, by the time we get down to what's left after the fallout, wouldn't surprise me to see less than 500 coins total. Very, very use case driven coins. I'm just speaking around numbers, but probably our 36,000 coins will probably be down to definitely less than 1,000, probably closer to 500. And then, of course, there'll be 2.0 version of those where some new stuff will be developed. You can look no further than the washout that happened with the tech bubble when, you know, I mean, pets.com. I mean, you guys are old enough to remember this stuff. I was deep in the middle of all that stuff when it happened. Um, you know, there was a few that survived. Amazon, for example, you know, eBay survived, blah blah blah. Yahoo survived. Didn't look good for Yahoo, but Yahoo survived. Google survived, but a lot of them didn't. You know, there was just endless amounts of new .com companies popping up everywhere you looked, and it's very similar to what's going on or what has gone on with crypto. You know, a few survive and they become giants. They become giants. I mean, and this is a conversation I had with a diamond 2 days ago, and I won't name names, but he's looking at this stuff and he's asking himself, you know, he's asking me, you know, should I be buying this stuff? Do I really think crypto's ever going to become something? Well, of course I do. Of course I do. But here's the thing. Uh, let's go back and now that I've discussed the .com company, now specifically, if you know Amazon's history, it operated for a number of years at a loss. And do some very, very basic research. Forget about the fact of the story, the myth that Jeff started off in his garage. That's not true. That's not true. You don't come out of your garage and build what he built without a lot of people adopting you, putting their money in and steering you. He's the face on this. He's not the brains behind it. Let me be very, very clear about that. But that being said, does any of you really honestly think you could have survived the .com blast that happened, where everything fell flat on its face? You know, a company like Pets.com is famous. I mean, how do you lose money on a pet food store named Pets.com on the internet? Oh my God, it was just too soon. Because people hadn't, you know, right now you're used to being able to buy everything you need from Amazon. You never have to leave the house. But that was not the case back then. And again, there's some similarities between now and crypto. I mean, crypto is not, you're not paying for everything in your life with crypto. So we are still that early in that comparability to that. So the question I want to pose to you is this: does any of you seriously think that you would have bellied up and go, hell yeah, I'm buying Amazon, and bought Amazon when it didn't make a red cent? Tesla, same thing. Same thing. That just popped into my head. Tesla lost its ass month after month, year after year after year. Now, if somebody offers you Tesla at those yesterday's prices, how fast would you knock over a crowd to get to the stock price that was offered way back when? Every single one of you would. So this is the nature of investing. You have to have luck, you have to have skill, you have to have preparation, and you have to have knowledge. But you also have to have intestinal fortitude. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake, guys, and I'm going to kind of segue into a little bit of a sermon here. But we've had a few people that have drifted through the membership and stuff like that thought they were buying a lottery ticket. Yes, this is a lottery ticket, but it's a lottery ticket with a lot more certainty to it. Not every lottery ticket, I got bad news for you. Not every lottery ticket you scratch off is going to buy you that dream house or that Lamborghini or whatever. You got to scratch a lot of lottery tickets. You got to buy a lot of lottery tickets, and you got to hold them until they start to pay out. That's the difference between a lottery ticket. You determine your profit versus a standard lottery ticket that's already an assigned price. But there's no shortage of people like the guy that bought the Bitcoin pizzas. I mean, how does he feel? He didn't think it was worth anything either, so he cashed out. So, but my overarching point that I'm making here is yes, crypto will do very, very well, but we want to buy those things that make sense. And right now we're starting to see the things that make sense. ISO coins, XRP, XLM, XDC, those coins make sense. The handwriting is on the wall, guys. They're already giving us the playbook. So now is not the time to go out and buy ApeCoin. Now is not the time to buy Dogecoin or hold that Shiba or do any of this shit because those days are over. They're over. Now, will they go up? I'm not suggesting they won't go up, but do you really want to own that as opposed to something that is endorsed by a banker that steers the direction of the world? Does that make any sense to you? To own. Never bet against the bankers. I mean, I am famous for saying that. I've said it for 25 years of lectures, books, auditorium speaking in front of crowds. Never bet against the bankers. I mean, some of you guys are kind of adopted my saying, but you don't know how serious I am about it because I have never, in 35 years as a professional investor, multi-millions of dollars of deals, ever seen a bank lose money. Ever. They always have a trapdoor. And so if you can get in that trapdoor with them, you're not going to lose. You're not going to lose. All right. So anyway, let's get back to this. I just kind of wanted to get that off my mind. But we are in the to put a cap on this and kind of get back to what we're doing. We are in the washout phase, or the soon-to-be washout phase of the Internet 1.0, and out of that rises Internet 2.0, which is your Amazons, your Teslas, your eBays, your big power players. We're going to see that in crypto as well. I think all you kind of basically know that, but you're not acting like you're not investing like you know that. So I want you to always go back to basics. Basics, fundamentals never steer you wrong as an investor. And Matic, here's one that would be a basic. This is one that will not wash out. This will do just fine. So, we're investing for value. We're watching. So here we are. We've cleared the 75. I haven't given any new target markers, but again, uh, not denying it's possible, guys. It's down there into some pretty sketchy low prices. I mean, I know this is negative, but I mean, this thing could very well go completely to the floor. I got to move that up just a little bit. But we're not going to try and buy this thing right at like fractions of a penny, but I'm going to tell you that once we get down to about 13 cents to roughly around about anywhere from a nickel to 10 cents, once we break out of this green bar and go below, it's probably time to be buying Matic with both hands because Matic is a layer one, layer two solution. It's got some good stuff going for it, and it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. And this would be one of those. This would be your Tesla. This would be your Amazon not making money for nearly a decade. I'm telling you right now, if you guys respect and listen to the stuff that I say, I'm telling you right now, this thing is no joke. I have every fiber of my being is saying you're going to see something out of this. It's going to be, well, I didn't see that coming. I did. I did. So let it rain, let it pour, take it to the floor. That's what I'm saying. Because when it does, I'm going to buy as much as I can. So what we're going to be looking at probably is underneath, once we clear out of whatever price that would be, once we clear this green box and get down into this zone, load the boat. Load the boat and sit back and watch what happens. Now, I saw this. I was on another forum. I actually kind of got drawn into a conversation where a bunch of people were really kind of hitting me up with questions. And I think I can't remember. Sometimes I talk publicly, sometimes I talk to VIP, and I've mentioned Crypto.com and my thoughts on Crypto.com. And that's kind of related to my last little dissertation here, so we'll just go ahead and go over it one more time. Crypto.com is not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Right now, basically, this is market sentiment that's dragging sentiment and manipulation too. We have to know that that's taking this thing down. But let's look right where I've got my buy alarm, 0.11 cents. Anything at 11 cents or lower, I'm buying the crap out of this. Why? Why? The reason why is because this is an exchange. To reference my last saying, never bet against the bankers. Meet the new banker. This is the new banker. Crypto.com, Coinbase, Kraken. Kraken, you already know, applied for a banking license. I don't know what the status is on that. I think they got it, but there's little doubt what these guys have in mind. They're going to be the new banks. So do you want to bet against Crypto.com? Because I sure don't. So should you buy Crypto.com stock or should you buy Crypto.com crow? Well, buy the damn coins. Stock, you don't want to be in. I actually had somebody in our group ask, maybe I should be buying some crypto.com stock. I wouldn't. I wouldn't because eventually, without kind of getting into this as a public stream, I don't want to overplay my hand here too much. But understand this. My ex-wife was a stock and bond broker. She's a security gal. She's completely clueless as to what's coming. She doesn't. She deals in bonds all day long, and she really doesn't understand the relationship that bonds are soon in stock, and everything is soon to be with crypto. Everything is going to be done by crypto. So why not just go to crypto? What I'm saying is this for you guys that are not connecting the pieces. When you buy a bond in the future, you're not going to buy a bond. You're going to buy a crypto that acts like a bond. So the bond business is dead. In the future, you're not going to buy a stock in a company. You're going to buy a DAO or you're going to buy something that's crypto type, that's electronically encoded to show, or an NFT or however you choose to look at it. That's how you're going to buy stock. You're not going to go down to Charles Schwab and give him your McDonald's money and buy a stock and then you got one little share of IBM, Tesla, or whatever. No, you're going to have a crypto that probably, let's be honest, he's going to keep, not you. You're going to get an electronic statement every single month telling you how much he's taken for fees and whatnot. But what I'm telling you is this. This is the new banker. This is the new banking system. It's right there in front of your face. It cannot be any clearer. So, and again, to kind of go back and reference, we had a meet up in Vegas a couple months ago. We went there. Crypto.com was everywhere, all over the side of the casinos. I mean, they spent millions of dollars to let the world know they're there, to be ready for the people that have not yet adopted crypto. They're seeding the market right now. Hey, by the way, where do I buy crypto? Maybe I could go to crypto.com. Genius. Genius. Do you think that this, with its powerful marketing, is going anywhere down? I don't. So when this thing goes down to the prices that we have forecasted and stuff like that, and you're owning them, this can be damn near life changing. You hold on to it long enough. I don't have an upper end target for this. I don't see an upper end target yet. I believe that this thing is probably going to be in the top, I don't know, just spitballing. I'm thinking this is probably going to be in the top 25 coins that exist when this all washes out. Has to be. This thing has so much more going for it than Coinbase, which was a first mover. Coinbase is they're just not evolving fast enough. Crypto.com has a couple of things going for it. I'll run through the list here one more time just because it's on the top of my mind. Name recognition. What do we want? Slap a .com on the back. Crypto.com. Brilliant. Coinbase. What's that? What does Coinbase do? We don't know. The name doesn't define it. Coins? What are we talking? Gold, silver? No, it's crypto. Oh, I didn't know that. Crypto.com. Brilliant marketing, first of all. Second of all, Coinbase does not advertise, insofar as I know. They might, but it shows you how well a job they're doing. I've never seen their advertising. They just assume, yeah, we're big enough, they'll find us. That's a shitty way to run a business, guys. You got to keep your name in front of the public. Crypto.com is plastering it all over the sides of casinos. They're buying auditoriums. So every time a sporting event goes through that, hey, from live from the crypto.com, you know, center, free marketing right there. It's just in their face all the time. So they're gonna have the advantage in the fact of name brand recognition. And then, of course, thirdly, you know, they operate off of phones. Most of you guys, you drive me nuts with your listening to these live streams are fine on your phone, stuff like that. But most of you guys trade off your phone, which I am not a big fan of. I believe you need to have a lot more charts and stuff like that in front of you than a phone can provide. You need to have information to make a strong decision with. Can't get that off a phone. However, that being said, Crypto.com operates mostly off a phone. And so the whole world can't seem to separate themselves from a phone. Crypto.com's already there letting you do what you want to do. Coinbase, you kind of sort of can, but again, it's kind of like, yeah, we should probably have a phone app. That's generally the attitude that Coinbase has with it. It's like, yeah, we got a phone app if you want it. It's a thing, but it's not really. But and so between the two, which are basically the only two in America that are really worthy of mention, yes, we've got other ones like Gemini and whatnot. Binance USA, depending upon the kind of nonsense you want to deal with, being a Chinese exchange. But again, Crypto.com has so much going for it as far as like what's coming. The point I'm trying to make is this: it is that Amazon before it finally hit its stride. It is that Tesla before it finally hit that point on the bell curve where it became a self-fulfilling prophecy, where it kind of became self-evident that, oh, well, of course, we're just not there yet. But I'm telling you, we're going to get there because all things lead to that. Never bet against the bankers. All right, so let me think here. So I want to talk a little bit about Phantom. This has become something that I mentioned. I'm going to kind of let this go a little bit on public. I'm not going to go deep and dirty on this. Again, this is a pitch to get you guys to join me on the unfairadvantage.chat in our Discord. You'll learn a lot more about. This is free. You guys can come in here. Basically, just go to the unfairadvantage.chat. There's an invitation from Red Baron. That's yours truly. Just join us and get in our group and learn. And then once you see what's going on, you'll want to subscribe to these charts that I'm using here that have all the prices and be able to get in our VIP, be able to get into the stuff where I'm really legitimately giving prices every single day. I give price forecasts and price updates and stuff like that. So you definitely want to be involved in it. Probably at least if when you do subscribe, get in at least in gold, and you'll quickly move up to platinum, which covers a lot more coins, which covers the coins that we're dealing with here. But so back to this. Recently, I told VIP that my 21 group has just been hounding the crap out of me about Phantom, and I didn't really honestly put much credence into it. I thought, all right, well, I've got it. And on the VIP live stream, I finally all of a sudden a bulb went off, and I realized why they're doing it. To go back and show this. So Phantom, most of you guys probably don't even know what Phantom is. You can do your own research on that. But Phantom, here's what I want to point out to you. So there's Quant. So we've been talking about ISO coins. What are ISO coins? That's the coins those are the banker coins. Those are the coins that are really going to set the standard, the gold standard for the future of the world. That would be XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, which we will still cover. And there's some speculation that Quant is going to be in that area there too. So here's what I want to show you is this. Quant, if we go to research on Platinum Pro, we click on that and we find out, tell me a little bit about Quant. All right, Quant is ranked number 70. Not bad. It's in the top 100. It has less than $1 billion market cap. All right. So this is speculated to be a future ISO coin, along with a couple of other ones. So let me take a look at the one-day chart here real quick. So again, it's following exactly the same pattern as everything else. Like I told you at the top of the show, you're not going to see anything too unique, but we're going to fall down into this area. So, okay, set this aside for a second. So, should you be buying Quant at, what, 30, 40 bucks? Probably should get you a scoop or two of it. I wouldn't go whole hog on it because I think it's a little much. I'm not much on buying $40 coins, because the percentage of return's not that good. Now, Phantom Phantom got brought to my attention, and I honestly don't have time to do research on back research on. I've got people that do that. I don't have time to do back research on the history and all that. Just dig deep on all this stuff. But they just kept flashing this at me all the time, and so I thought, fine, I'll put it up on Platinum Pro. So I did that, and I just happened to be going through this because it just would not shut up. Now here's what I want to show you. Once I plugged it into our AI system, I got to looking at this thing. I thought, whew, whew. So this is a slightly different scenario. It's a 40-cent coin currently, but here's what I want to show you. Going to the research, it is ranked at number 64. So let's think about that for a second. A future ISO coin, never bet against the bankers. A future ISO coin is ranked at number 70. This is ranked at number 64. And kids, it does have $1 billion market cap and climbing. That number's higher than it was yesterday and the day before, and climbing. Phantom, what does it do? I'm going to leave you guys to do some homework. I don't want to spoon feed you everything. Look it up. it's once you see what I've seen, you'll come to the same conclusion I'm about to come to. So Phantom, let's get back into the there we go. All right. So currently we're at 40 cents. Anything below a nickel, I'm throwing the kitchen sink. I'm throwing your kitchen sink. I'm borrowing a kitchen sink at this thing. Why? Because this thing at some times has more traffic. How do I say that correctly? It has more going for it at some time. I'll be vague here. I'll let you guys do the research. Some of its statistics beat Ethereum. Some of its traffic beats Ethereum. It is a higher market cap. It is a higher rank than some potential quote unquote deadlocks for ISO. I'm not suggesting this is going to be an ISO. This thing is designed originally to run smart cities. So there's other things that are involved in this. Again, I want you guys to do the research so that you're more savvy on this. If you want to join in on this, don't just buy it because I say so. Do the research and figure it out for yourself. But I see this thing going down here to 6 cents and potentially lower. So let me show you the most outrageous best case scenario for this. You're gonna have to wait for this, so don't think I'm promising you this is coming right away. If we get into an utter capitulation where everything's just to the deck, which I think is going to happen, that's going to put this thing down here somewhere in the neighborhood of fractions of a penny. All right, now just using standard TA, get ready for this. If we'll just assume this green line to be the drop point, then we'll just pick it up at 0.0004. All right. So if we play standard TA and we just look at this and say, okay, well, we're going to hit certain given stop points. One right there, one right there, definitely one right there, definitely one right there. Let me show you the percents of return. This will absolutely just utterly blow you away. So when we hit our first support and resistance, our first resistance right there, to come up off of 0.0004, and I'm going to circle back and talk about the mindset it takes to get in on something like this. When we come back up there to that point, guys, that is 62,000% return on your money. To go up to this up here is 250,000% return on your money. To go up even higher, 345,000% return on your money. All right, this is why my group of psychics, bankers, blah, 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 and the 21 group are up my butt about Phantom. So wouldn't you be? And so I looked at this. Now, to circle back here, because every once in a while this kind of gets to be a sermon and a lecture, this is a good classic case of what we were talking about. Would you buy Amazon when it's not looking good? Would you buy Tesla when everybody's like, oh, this company's going to do it? It can't compete with the big three. Those people that listen to the public and go, yeah, well, I'm going to put my money in it. Again, it might be a lottery ticket, but again, it's a calculated lottery ticket. Phantom has a higher, you have to look at the truth, and then you have to look at the news, and then you have to search your soul. And all three of those things kind of go hand in hand in hand. You have to look at this and go, okay, well, what's good for this that I can really, really sink my teeth into, really put my hands on, really, really get wrist deep in, that I can believe in? Well, it has $1 billion market cap. You know how hard it is to have $1 billion market cap in anything, crypto or otherwise? Ain't easy, kids. Ain't easy. And so $1 billion worth of money, capital B, is sunk into Phantom right now, and it's going up higher by the day. It's gone up. I think it's gone up $30 million in the last day and a half. So as this thing goes down, so you're looking at a good market cap, but you're looking at the price going down. Well, the price is going down on everything. So, well, it's going down. It's going down. What if it never comes back up? Markets don't work like that. So the question is, are you buying a beat up, I'll say stock, are you buying a beat up stock or crypto, or are you buying something that's just on its way into the toilet, never to return? $1 billion market cap, not the mark of a crap coin. It's rated higher than umpteen. It's firmly in the top 100 coins out there. That means it's got real credible money behind it. It means it's got real credible people that are looking at this thing going, this is not too bad a project to be in. So when this thing turns around, now here's to kind of jump to the big takeaway of this. Those prices I just gave you, the multiples I just gave you, I know that sounds absolutely insane, but you know and I know that this has been done in crypto many, many, many times. But it's always you standing on the curb going, man, I really wish I would have gotten on that bus. I'm showing you one right here publicly for free. You guys just got a $1 million hot tip put right in your lap. So the question I would pose to you, dear listener, is do you have the intestinal fortitude to put your money down when everybody else is running and screaming and yelling and bleeding from the eye sockets? Can you do that? That's what defines you as a good investor versus a bad investor. Can you have the intestinal fortitude to stand up and risk your money when everybody else won't do it? That's what changes your life. I've done it many, many times. I've lost a few times, but you know what? I'm still standing very good, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to start being very, very um, direct with you guys because I think the time for pussyfooting around as far as like well you'll be okay if you do this. I want you guys to really understand what it takes to be a successful investor. That was one of my goals when I started this channel, is to be able to share my understanding and my mentality with you. So I'm telling you to strip raw of all the fluff, what it takes. Do you have the nuts to be able to belly up and throw down on this thing when it goes way the hell down there to fractions of a penny? Looking at all that iceberg above you, thinking someday that's going to come back. Not just because you're listening to me. So I want you guys to understand that this thing here will change your life. Will change your life. And I believe that very firmly. And it's probably in my top three things that I'm watching. XRP is one of them, XLM is the other, and this one's number three. All right, so we already covered that there. Quant's basically just kind of, Quant. I'm never going to be a big proponent of Quant because I think it's just priced itself out of my attention span. So Algorand. So we'll get to Algorand. So now Algorand is an ISO coin. Very, very good ISO coin. I think it should be part of a well balanced portfolio. But again, it's a 40-cent coin too. But it has not got the opportunity to go as high as Phantom does. It'll do well. It's an ISO coin. You definitely don't want to miss the bus on it. But I don't think it's going to ever, do those multiple 300,000% returns you're looking at with Phantom. Um, so anyway, again, like I can't remember if I've told you guys publicly or if I've said this to VIP or not. Excuse me. When we get to the bottom of this buy zone here, down around where the squiggles are at, it's time to pull the trigger and get in. Now another one, not I'm just not as passionate about this one. I just don't get the vibe for it. But I'm starting now to talk an awful lot more about Hashgraph because it's a Google-based product, and how can you not? Um, you're seeing the same basic chart, but I just have less of there's just less feel good. And here's the reason why. So let me show you. So if I have $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket, do I take Phantom or do I take Hashgraph? Well, I just showed you the percents on returns for the same basic chart move. When we get slammed to the deck down here at my buy target, let me show you what the percents of returns are on this. You know, if we start going up, first place we're going to hit is we're going to hit resistance right here. That's going to be 250% return. Most people would go, well, that's pretty good. And it is. Then we would go up to the next resistance right here, which is 500% return. And you can see where I'm going with this. Heavy resistance right here. 620 to 625% return. And we have a trend running through here, so we have to consider that resistance as well. So let's say we get over here and we get all the way up here. That's roughly 900% return. That's a 9x. That's damn good for any investor. That's damn good. But I just got done showing you 350,000% return. So you can see how this pales in comparison. So it's kind of, I only made 11% or I only made 15% return on my money. Boo-hoo, you know. So but you want to be exposed to this a little bit, just because. But the Hashgraph just doesn't have that tingly feeling for me that I get with Phantom for good reason. Now IOTA again, this is another ISO coin. If the chart a little bit up, there we go. So again, really, it almost seems like it's frozen in time. I swear this chart looks exactly like it looked last time I talked publicly about this. So we're basically waiting for this blue line here. Below this blue line and above this yellow line right in this area, that's buy time. Anything below 16 cents, it's buy time and buy and wait time. But again, you're not going to get, 200, 350% returns on your money with IOTA. But you're going to get security, though, because it's an ISO coin. All right. And let's take a last thing and we're going to check out here. So let's look at silver. So silver, we've talked a number of times about silver. Silver is operating pretty much exactly like I expected. We're inside of a broadening descending wedge. Where are we going from here? This is just basically a gestalt here, but let me get that out of there for a second. But it's tracking perfectly. You can see it's banging off it multiple times, so it's still valid that this is a move. So now what I'm expecting is we have an opening move right here. You guys know what an opening move is. Our closing move is going to put us right here at the bottom of this yellow right here. So I would expect in the not too distant future right there, and it's possible we walk sideways, and the next thing you know, we've got a head and shoulders, and then down we go from there. So that's thinking about 3 moves ahead. But silver will revisit these $20 lows and more. I do firmly believe that we will be seeing probably into the 19, anywhere at the bottom of this green box. So basically right into this area right here is about where I'm expecting. 19 cent silver is not impossible to predict at this point in time. All right, guys, so that'll wrap it up. Thank you very much. I apologize for being so long. So again, I'm going to try to do a little bit more public live stream, when I get the time and stuff like that. So again, I mentioned I was going to talk about the tax lien seminar and stuff that we're going to be having on the 28th and stuff. If you guys want to know more about that, go to tax lien, spelled L-E-I-N or I-L-I-E-N, taxlienseminar.com. You can learn more about that. And then, of course, obviously, you want to really know more about it, join us at the Discord. We're going to be having that on the 28th of next month. And you'll be able to go with me personally. I'm one of the largest real estate investors in the Northwest, or in the Midwest, pardon me. And I've been doing this for about 35 years and stuff like that. And I'll show you an easy way to get into real estate. I mean, again, if you guys just want to take your money and plunk it down on something and say, hey, I own real estate, this is the way to do it. You don't have to be a Rockefeller to get in on this stuff. You can do it fairly cheap. But join us at the seminar, and we'll spend about just slightly less than a week teaching you, training you, showing you the opportunities, and you may end up picking up houses for pennies on the dollar. You never know. It's a fun business to be in. It's 100% passive. Government collects all the money for you and stuff like that. But join us at taxlienseminar.com and certainly get in on it. Join us over at over at the Discord, and we'd love to be able to tell you a little bit more about that. And until next time, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.